it! Okay, can you please leave me alone for like 30 minutes? Hey guys, what's up? It's Emily. So today I am going to be doing a wrap up, which I have not done in 5 years. More like the end of May, early June. That's because in June I went to Europe, and before I went to Europe, like early parts of June, it was get ready for Europe. And then when I got back, it was sift through 2,000 photos and all the footage you took and organize it all and do summer homework and all this crap. And then my computer broke and everything's just been crazy. So, you know, I never got around to the June wrap up. Also because I only read like one book in June, but I read a lot in July, especially because Booktubeathon was in July, and so I'm going to be doing a combined June/July wrap up, but mostly just July plus a book from June. So I have, I think, 11 total books to show you guys. The first book I read in June, and this was the only book I read in June, Cress by Marissa Meyer. I think I read this right before I went to Europe, and then I brought winter with me and didn't get through like any of it. And this is the third book in the Lunar Chronicles. The first book is Cinder, and the second book is Scarlet, and this is the third book, Cress, and the fourth book is Winter. And each of them follow a classic fairy tale retelling. First one's Cinderella, second one's Little Red Riding Hood, this one's Rapunzel, and the last one is Snow White. It's in the future, so there are cyborgs in space and a plague and magical powers, sort of, and a war and a revolution, kind of. It's all kinds of cray. But it's such a good series. I love it. And this one is probably my favorite out of this series because all the feels happen in this book and it was just great. I will be doing a book talk on this one. I'm actually planning on doing a book talk on all of them, so those will be coming sometime in the near future. When I got back, I really had to focus on school, and I had summer reading homework for school, and we had to read The Kite Runner by, oh gosh, forgive me if I'm saying his name wrong, Khalid Hosseini. This is about this boy named Amir who lives in Afghanistan and his journey through life. There's a whole bunch of stuff that happens in this book, and I genuinely really liked this book. I really knew nothing about Afghanistan going into it, except of course there's a war happening. My only problem with it is that I had to write an essay on it. That sucked. Oh, I already forgot to mention it. I also had the chance to read a book called Darcy Elizabeth by the author MC Frank. I don't believe it's out yet. So I got the opportunity through Bookstagram to read the book and review it, and then if she liked my review, she was going to send me the actual art version because she sent it through a PDF file, so I don't actually have the book with me. But I was really dumb and I forgot to email her and say that yes, I was doing it, so she took me off the list, although I still had the book. So I still read it, and I went to go write my review, and I was double checking everything, and that's when I found out I was supposed to email her back, and so I never heard back, which I totally don't blame her at all. That was a problem or mistake on my part. Anyway, so I did actually really enjoy the book, and I did go ahead and review it. What it was is basically a collection of the most romantic love confessions in literature. There's a lot of classics and stuff in there, like there's stuff from Pride and Prejudice, and a lot of Jane Austen novels, and Little Women, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I can't think of, and it was really interesting. So whenever it comes out, go check it out if you really like romance stuff. And that cover is gorgeous. It is a beautiful cover. That's what first drew me to it. That and Darcy Elizabeth was the title because I love Pride and Prejudice. And after that, I finally got around to reading Winter by Marissa Meyer, and like I said, this is the fourth and final book in the Lunar Chronicles series. It's a retelling of Snow White, and that's really all I'm gonna say about it because I already kind of explained the series. Also, again, I'll have book talks on each and every single one of the books, but I really loved this book too. I loved all of the books in the Lunar Chronicles series. They're all 5 out of 5 stars. They're great. The characters are great. I love this series so much. I really highly suggest it to anyone, really. And don't get freaked out by the space thing or the cyborgs thing. It's actually not that bad because I get freaked out by space and I was not freaked out. Then next I read Stars Above by Marissa Meyer, and this is just a collection of novellas that go along with the characters from the Lunar Chronicles. There's also like a 50-page epilogue that is so adorable. If you read the Lunar Chronicles but you haven't read Stars Above, I highly suggest it because it gives you more information about characters like Scarlet's grandmother and Cinder herself, and Wolf is in there. Thorn has his own novella in it. It's great, and there's probably others that I forgot. But I really suggest this if you haven't read it yet and you've read the Lunar Chronicles. Alright, now the rest of these books, oh, except for one other book, is all that I read during Booktubeathon. I am going to be pretty brief on them because I did kind of talk about them in my Booktubeathon videos. So the first book I read was Karela by Ashley Poston, and this is a retelling of Cinderella but modern times, and it's very geeky, like very fandom, and it was great. It was so cute and adorable. I loved reading all the text messages. It was just really fun fun and cute and a very quick read because it's not very long. Also, can we talk about how gorgeous this book is? Like, the cover is really beautiful. I love this blue color, and it has this little insignia thing that has to do with the fandom in the book. There's these little illustrations that have to do with the novel. I didn't realize that until after I read it. Here's the other one. And then, oh my god, these end pages. These end pages are gorgeous. I love these end pages. They're just so pretty, and I love the title page too. It's just such a beautiful, it's a beautiful book. It was really well made. Lord, give me strength. The next book I read for Booktubeathon was 15th Summer by Michelle Dalton, and unfortunately I really did not like this book. It was one of those really cheesy, really badly made romance books, and I did not like it at all. And this was a book my friend made me read for the summer. I'm sorry, Kaylee. It was a really bad book, as I knew it was going to be. Literally, it's just about a girl going to her vacation place for the summer. She meets a boy. That's literally it. That's the plotline. Then the next book I read for Tubeathon was the amazing book Is Not on Fire by Daniel Howell and Phil Lester. And this is Dan and Phil's book, and it was great, and it was so funny, and I loved it. It's just basically, there's a lot of pictures, and it kind of goes through their journey into being YouTubers and kind of big events that they've done and big trips that they've done and everything, and it was really funny. I can't wait to read Dan and Phil Go Outside, which unfortunately I don't own, otherwise I'd read it. The next book I read was actually a reread, and it was Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, and this book is so adorable. All of Stephanie Perkins' books, except for her new one because it's apparently horror, but all of her contemporaries are so cute and adorable, and they actually do intertwine, so start with Anna and then read Lola and then read Isla. And this book is about this girl, and she ends up going to school in Paris, the American school in Paris, and she meets this boy, Sinclair, but things are complicated, but it's so cute and adorable, and it was great. I was actually planning on reading this when I was in Europe, but I never got around to it, and I've been meaning to reread it for a long time, and so it was nice that I finally got to do so. Then I read Attack on Titan Volume 1 and Volume 2 by, oh boy, Hajime Ishiyama? I do not think I'm saying that right, and I'm so sorry. I suck at pronouncing things. These two are obviously the manga that go along with the anime, and I love this anime and I love this manga. It is so good. If you don't know what it's about, I believe it takes place in the future, like 200 or so years in the future, and these creatures called Titans, they kind of look human-like, but they are like huge. They're like 50 feet tall or something like that, and they eat people, and so humanity is basically gone extinct except for this area inside these walls. There's 3 sets of walls, and there's these like military thing called the Survey Corps where you go and kill Titans, and it's so good. I'm sorry. I love it so much. It's so entertaining, and it's just so good. I love like all of the characters, and the first time I watched the anime, I didn't think I liked all the characters, but then I rewatched it and I realized I loved every single one of them because every single one of them has some sort of usefulness. Almost everybody's useful in these books. It's so good. My favorite character is definitely Levi though, and I'm upset because he doesn't show up in these two. I think he shows up in the next one according to the anime. Then the final book I read during these 2 months was Pendleton the Revolution by Lin-Manuel Miranda and Jeremy Carter. So this is basically a documentary style book about the actual play Hamilton, and it gives you all the lyrics to all the songs and notes Lin made on those songs, like, you know, how this line came to be or what this line means or something, you know, anything about the song really. It gives you all this background information on the musical and how it came to be, and it was great. It actually did take quite a bit to get through. I mean, it looks big, but it's only 286 pages, but when you hit a place where there's writing, there is writing, and this takes you a good while to get through. But it was very entertaining, and it just made me love Hamilton so much more, and it's also a very beautiful book. Like, look at that spine. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed really all the books I've read except for 15th Summer, because that book sucked. Here comes the time where I'm supposed to hold all these. This is not going to go well. Oh, this is heavy. Oh no, this is too a bad start already. Please. Really? Is that really necessary? I can't with these books today. So these are all the books I read in June. Last July. See, the stack's too big for the camera frame. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you whenever I make a new video. Yep. Cool. Good news is I went from being 10 books behind on my Goodreads schedule to 5. I'm winning at life. No, I'm not. I'm still 5 books behind, and that's a lot. Goodbye. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Did you just give my freaking heel a paper cut?